Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ms. McGuire video lectures. And today we are covering the cardiovascular system, blood vessels, and circulation. And to make this video not very long, I'm going to divide this PowerPoint into two parts. So this is part one. Then we will continue this video with part two. And the last video will be part three, that physiology of circulation. Right, so let's go ahead and begin. So first, let's talk about blood vessels. What is the difference between arteries and veins? Arteries, by definition, are blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart, and veins carry blood back to the heart. Mostly, blood within arteries is oxygenated, with exception of pulmonary circulation. Now, in pulmonary circulation, arteries carry deoxygenated blood. So, so don't be kind of confused that arteries always carry oxygenated blood. That's not always true. What is true is that arteries carry blood away from the heart. So arteries start with A, away, start with A, so arteries away. And veins, most of the veins, systemic veins, they carry deoxygenated blood, and pulmonary veins, they carry oxygenated blood. So actually you can see it here on the picture. So if blood is oxygenated, we use red color. And if blood is deoxygenated, we use a blue color. All your blood is red. Those colors just represent high or low concentration of oxygen and carbon dioxide within those blood vessels. So you can see here pulmonary vein, for example, colored red, and pulmonary artery colored blue. And that's because pulmonary artery carry carbon dioxide rich blood away from the heart. Arteries always away, and veins carry oxygen rich blood back to the heart. That's why it says oxygenation generally higher in arteries and generally low in veins, but we cannot apply the same to pulmonary circulation. This is true in systemic circulation only. If we look at histology of arteries and veins, arteries have thicker walls, and blood pressure within arteries is greater. Veins have a thinner wall, low pressure, and have valves. Both arteries and veins have lumen, 3 layers of tissue that are called tunica intima, right there, tunica media and tunica externa. And they both, large arteries and veins, they have vasa vasorum. And vasa vasorum is blood supply of large veins and arteries. So large vessels, like if you look here at this histology slide, artery has, lots of tissue that make its wall, veins as well, right? So we want to supply oxygen and nutrients to those cells as well. That's why we have vasa vasorum, that is blood supply to blood vessels, right? And they also have nervi vasorum, that nerve supply. So if we look at 3 tunics, tunica intima is the deepest layer, and it's epithelial and connective tissue. Epithelial tissue is endothelium, so it's a simple squamous, and it has internal elastic membrane. So if you look over here, you can see tunica intima, right, shown here, and this line, this is internal elastic membrane. Then we have tunica media, that is mostly smooth muscles, but it also includes elastic fibers. So whatever shown over here in blue, those are elastic fibers, and it's what it says here, middle layer smooth muscle. And tunica externa is connective tissue that help to hold vessels in position. So here, the last one on this diagram is tunica externa. Over here, we can compare 3 tunics, right? So not the only tunics, right? Oh yeah, we can compare tunics in general appearance, like arteries, thick walls with small lumens generally appear rounded. Veins, thin walls with large lumens generally appear flattened. Tunica intima, endothelium usually appears wavy in arteries and smooth in veins, and they both have internal elastic membrane if arteries and veins are large. Tunica media, normally the thickest layer in arteries, and normally thinner than the tunica externa in veins, but both are made of smooth muscle cells. In the arteries, we also have elastic fibers, and we have external elastic membrane present in large vessels. In veins, it's also smooth muscle cells. We have collagen fibers. We have nervi vasorum and vasa vasorum, and external elastic membrane is absent. In tunica externa, usually in arteries, it's thinner than tunica media. It has collagen and elastic fibers, and it has a nervi vasorum, vasa vasorum, so blood supply and nerve supply. When in veins, normally the thickest layer, we have predominantly collagen. That's smooth fibers. I don't know, smooth fibers, what they mean. Collagen and smooth fibers, not smooth muscles. Some smooth muscle fiber can be found, and of course we have nervi vasorum and vasa vasorum present as well. Right, so take a minute and read this comparison and see, if it makes sense for you. And you can also look at the diagram over here on the previous slide. And another good one is this histology diagram. You can see difference in appearance between artery and vein. Now, arteries can be divided into elastic, muscular, and small arteries we call arterioles. Like they all have 3 tunics, intima, media, and externa, but the composition of tunics, like proportion of elastic fibers of smooth muscles or collagen fibers in tunica externa differ. So it's different, depends on what artery we're talking about. Now, arteries that are close to heart, the large arteries that are elastic arteries, and they have obviously, we call them elastic because they have a large amount of elastic fibers. Internal elastic lamina, external elastic lamina, elastic fibers inside tunica media. And those arteries are designed to withhold high pressure of blood, and they can extend and recoil back. Now, when we're moving away from the heart, we have smaller arteries, and they are muscular arteries. They have thick tunica media, and they active in vasoconstriction. So they can constrict the lumen or dilate the lumen when those muscles contract or relax inside tunica media. Arterioles are small vessels. They lead to capillaries, and they participate in the regulation of blood pressure. So you can see over here, we magnify a lot those small smooth muscles, but now we have just several layers of them in tunica media. So way smaller vessels. And then we have capillaries, right? So arterioles then branch and divide into capillaries. We have continuous capillaries, fenestrated, and sinusoid. Continuous capillary shown here on the first picture, they have complete endothelial lining over here. So we have these endothelial cells of tunica intima. They do have intracellular cleft because, you know, all capillaries are permeable at some degree, right? But those are least permeable and most common capillaries. They have tight junctions between cells, and this type of capillaries form blood-brain barrier, and they found very abundant in your muscles. So continuous capillaries, most capillaries in that supply your skeletal muscles. Fenestrated capillaries shown over here, they have pores that called fenestration. And then they have tight junction as well between cells. They have larger intracellular clefts and more permeable. So you would find them in your small intestine because you want more movement across the wall of capillaries. Sinusoid capillaries found in liver, spleen, lymph node, they the most permeable capillaries. So you see they have incomplete basement membrane over here. They have huge intercellular gaps. And what it's not shown over here, they also fenestrated. They will also have pores as well. And so you can see that bigger substances can leave those capillaries. And that's what happened in liver, spleen, and lymph nodes when you have white blood cells leaving those capillaries, red blood cells leaving capillaries, right? For example, your liver and spleen remove damaged and non-functioning old red blood cells. So for that reason, red blood cells need to be able to exit the capillaries, and then you have macrophages in liver and spleen that will pretty much digest and remove those non-functioning cells from your circulation. So we do need these huge intercellular gaps in the sinusoid capillaries. Metarteriole. Metarterioles have characteristic of arteriole and the capillaries, and they supply capillary beds, like, for example, shown over here. And they only found in a mesenteric circulation. So that's the circulation that provides blood to your digestive system. So you can see we have arteriole, and then we have venule, and there is direct connection between them. And this direct connection is metarteriole on the arterial side. Sort of fair channel on the venule side. And why do we need these metarterioles? Because look, we have, so those are capillaries, and you have these precapillary sphincters. When you need more blood supply to your GI tract, those sphincters will relax and blood will flow through capillaries, right? And it will be like, large blood supply to your GI tract. Well, that will happen when you're ready to digest and absorb your food. But when you don't need much blood flowing to your GI tract, those sphincters will constrict, and you will not have blood flow through this capillary bed, but you still need exchange, right, from arteriole and venule, and then blood will go straight through metarteriole from arteriole to venule without filling in those capillary beds. This is how we can regulate the amount of blood flowing to your GI tract at a specific point of time. Now, venules and veins. Now, when the multiple capillaries unite and join together, they form small venules. And this is a primary site of immigration or diapetesis, where white blood cells can exit your blood vessels and move towards your body tissues that might have infection or some damage. And veins, now venules unite to form smaller veins and then larger veins. Veins conduct blood towards the heart. They are thin-walled, irregular lumen, and they have valves. So on this diagram, you can see a venule that has, three tunics that we're already familiar with, the medium-sized vein and large-sized vein. And you can see in a large-sized vein, the thickest tunica usually is tunica externa. So here we can compare arteries and veins. Now, direction of flow: arteries conduct blood away from the heart, veins conducts blood towards the heart. General appearance: arteries rounded, irregular, often collapsed for veins. Pressure is high in arteries, low in veins. Wall thickness thick, and they're talking about tunica media. In veins, it's thin. Relative oxygen concentration higher in systemic arteries, low in pulmonary arteries, and vice versa, lower in systemic veins and higher in pulmonary veins. And valves are not present in arteries, but they are present in veins. We don't need valves in arteries because we have higher blood pressure in arteries, and blood pretty much flow in one direction without valves. In the veins, we have low pressure system. Very often veins carry blood against the gravity, for example, from your toes when you're standing up back to your heart. So we want to prevent backflow. That's why we have valves. Now, veins are also your blood reservoirs. About 60% of blood are at any point of time are inside your veins. And medulla oblongata regulate your blood distribution through centers that can regulate vasodilation, vasoconstriction. So you can look over here, like in systemic circulation, you have 84% of blood, pulmonary circulation 9%, and 7% of blood supplies your heart. And we're not gonna, of course, there is no point to remember all these numbers, but most of this blood at any point of time are inside systemic veins. Now, circulatory system has impact on any system of your body. Right here we have digestive, endocrine, integumentary, lymphatic, like digestive system. What is the role of circulatory system? Well, you digest your food, but then you absorb nutrients into your blood. So absorb nutrients and water, delivers nutrients, except for most lipids, to liver for processing by hepatic portal vein, provides nutrients essential for hematopoiesis and building hemoglobin. Endocrine system. Well, the whole endocrine system is what? About synthesizing hormones and releasing them in the bloodstream, right? And your blood will deliver those hormones to their target organs and cells. And here's just some of the hormones: epinephrine, angiotensin, thyroxine, right? Integumentary system, where your blood carry clotting factors, platelets, and the most likely site of damage of your body is your integumentary system, right, outside of your body. So those clotting factors and platelets for hemostasis, so you don't bleed to death, right? Also, blood flowing to your integumentary system can release heat, right? Or if those blood vessels constrict, then you keep your body warm. You don't lose heat from the surface of your body. And it's also blood reservoir, those cutaneous blood vessels. Now, lymphatic system is interconnected with circulatory system as well. Well, lymphatic system is like basic system for your immune system, right? We call it lymphatic really in anatomy and immune in physiology. That means your lymphatic system produce, all, those cells that are mature in the lymphatic organs, then they will move to your blood, and your blood will deliver them through your body. Your blood will deliver antibodies, right? And plus lymphatic system will help your circulatory system to return excess fluids back to the heart, so you don't have edema of the tissues. So because your capillaries are permeable, so you can see over here, that's your blood vessels. And because they're permeable, some extra fluid will leak out and it will be picked up by lymphatics. Muscular system. Of course, your blood supply nutrients and oxygen, not only to your muscular system, but any system of your body. Nervous system. Your blood, cerebrospinal fluid is produced from blood plasma, right? We have, of course, it's a process. We have a special cells, ependymal cells. They will, it will be important in production of this fluid, but this fluid will come from blood plasma. Then, and it's happened in choroid plexuses. Blood contributes to blood-brain barrier, plus your nervous system has cardiac and vasomotor centers in medulla oblongata that regulate blood flow via automatic system. Reproductive system, blood aids in erection of genitalia in both sexes, deliver hormones, gonadotropic hormones that regulate reproductive function. Right. Gonadotropic hormones are from the pituitary gland to your testes and ovaries, and it will regulate maturation of sperm and production of sperm and maturation of ova. Now, respiratory system cannot function without circulatory, because circulatory provides blood for this exchange between air and blood. So oxygen in your lungs, in those alveoli, will move from alveoli to capillaries, and carbon dioxide from capillaries to alveoli, and you will exhale it. Now, skeletal system, blood provides calcium, phosphate, and other minerals. Blood deliver hormones. Blood deliver, for example, erythropoietin that stimulate hematopoiesis of myeloid cells within red bone marrow. Urinary system. About 20% of your blood of resting circulation filtered by your kidneys. So delivers 20% of resting circulation to kidney for filtering and reabsorption of useful products. Secretion of excess regulates blood volume, pressure, and blood system. We already talked about endocrine. Your blood will deliver this hormone, that renin, that will regulate renin, angiotensin, aldosterone mechanism. That is very important mechanism in regulation of blood pressure when blood pressure drops down. Right, so you can see there is no any system in your body that would not depend on circulatory system in some way or another way. And of course, all your body systems are made of tissues. Tissues are made of cells. All the cells need nutrients and oxygen, and all the cells will metabolize nutrients, and waste product need to be removed. And it's a job of circulatory system to do it. Now, in our body, we have pulmonary and systemic circulation. So this slide shows us only pulmonary circulation. When blood flows from right ventricle to the pulmonary trunk, then to pulmonary arteries, then pulmonary arterioles, then pulmonary capillaries, pulmonary venules, pulmonary veins, and then a left atrium. And this is the circulation when we have arteries, carries blood away, and the blood over there is deoxygenated. And veins carry blood back to the heart, and blood is oxygenated. On this slide, you can see both pulmonary circulation, right? And pulmonary circulation, you can start here with number 1, right? So it's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's a pulmonary blood from the right ventricle to the lungs and back to the left atrium. And you can also see systemic circulation. So it starts with number 6. So 5 to 6. So left atrium, left ventricle, and then aorta. And aorta will branch into smaller arteries that will deliver oxygenated blood to your upper part of your body, lower part of your body. Then arteries became arterioles and capillary beds. And this is where exchange gonna happen within capillaries bed, within capillary beds. And then small capillaries unite forming venules and medium veins, large veins, and then inferior superior vena cava that deliver blood back to the heart, but now to the right side, to the right atrium. So here's number 10, we back to the heart and we're gonna start all over. So if you look at the heart, let's see if this one shows. Now this blood vessel that begins at a level of left ventricle, the first blood vessel is called aortic arch. Let me see where we can see this aortic arch better. And maybe we'll look over here for a second. So you see, the heart is removed, but the heart would be right here. And then we have blood vessel kind of goes up and makes this U-turn. And this structure look like arch, that's aortic arch. And that's what we have on this diagram. So actually you would have, of course, your heart over here, and specifically you would have, the left ventricle. I'm trying to draw it. I don't know if I can do it, if I'm going to be successful, but that's, let's say this is, there you go. All right, so this is our left atrium, and this is left ventricle. And here's the beginning of aorta. So it has aortic arch. So that's aortic arch. An aortic arch, we already talked in the previous video about this valve that is aortic semilunar valve. And then aortic arch has several branches. The first two branches is right and left coronary arteries. They will deliver blood to the heart muscles. So before taking care of any other organs, your heart takes care of itself. And then from this part is called ascending aorta, then aortic arch, and then descending aorta. And we have 3 branches from aortic arch. Now let's look at left first. It will be left subclavian artery and left common carotid artery. A left subclavian artery will deliver blood to your left arm. Left common carotid artery will deliver blood to your head and to your brain. Now the third branch is brachiocephalic artery or brachiocephalic trunk. And the trunk in anatomy is a short blood vessel, and it will bifurcate pretty soon. So it's a short vessel, and it divides into 2 branches. And those branches have the same name as left branches now. Right subclavian, see left and right. And this one will be right common carotid artery. Now, right subclavian will deliver blood to the right arm, and right common carotid artery to the brain. and to the head and, you know, muscles, skins of the face, head, neck, right? And the last slide for this video is components of the aorta. So here's you see aorta is the largest artery in the body, originating from left ventricle, descending to the abdominal region, where it bifurcates into common iliac arteries. So the end of aorta would be two common iliac arteries, right and left. And it will happen at a level of the fourth lumbar vertebra. Arteries originating from aorta distribute blood to virtually all tissue of the body. So the aorta, so if you have, you know, aorta, we have first ascending aorta, right? So here's the arch, right? So we would have, and here's our three branches. 1, 2, and this will be divided into 2. So we have this part that is ascending aorta. Its initial portion of the aorta rising superiorly from the left ventricle for a distance of about approximately 5 centimeters. Then we have aortic arch, graceful arc to the left that connects the ascending aorta to the descending aorta, ends at the intervertebral disc between the 4th and 5th thoracic vertebrae. And then we have descending part, right? A portion of aorta that continues inferiorly past the end of the aortic arch, divided into thoracic and abdominal. So when it's in the thoracic cavity, descending aorta is called thoracic aorta. And when it's pinches through a diaphragm and it enters abdominal cavity, it will be abdominal aorta. And it's what says over here. Thoracic is a portion of descending aorta superior to aortic hiatus, and this is the opening inside diaphragm. And abdominal aorta, portion of the aorta inferior to the aortic hiatus and superior to the common iliac arteries. Well, that's because your aorta, it will go down, right? And then it bifurcates like this into right and left common iliac arteries. That's why we say it's superior to common iliac arteries. Okay, so that's it for this lecture. Next time we will cover major arteries and veins of the body. And the third part will be a physiology part. Right, so thank you for watching, and I hope it was helpful.